This is weekly mock draft. First pick is gonna be me. This is
It's different. Like the Titans.
the Titans. They overpaid massively for that Steelers tackle. I don't know what they're doing there. They got a lot of faith in Brody.
Yeah, they also signed Cody Barton. I
Oh,
didn't
that's a
know that.
dog right there. But my thing
Yeah,
with Cody Barnes though, he
That is a
cannot
dog.
tackle.
yeah.
Now he can tackle fine. He can tackle fine. Not nothing special though.
He cannot tackle. I saw every time I saw him tackle, he got dropped back like at least 3 yards and then finally made the tackle. And he was good, but let's go into a world here where maybe Mayo Man gets one more year of opportunity and go best player available. Abdul
I wish,
Carter had that foot
I wish you
problem.
would, man.
He might have to have that
I wish
surgery at
you
the
would.
combine, but I mean, he's just game record, second most valuable position in the NFL. Can't really go wrong with taking a DN that you're gonna be solidified for years to come.
Yeah,
And they lost Harold Landry too, so
bro. Who literally is like, I just such a weird pickup because they're. I get why, because he's like, he's just going with his guy, but he's just bad. Like he's not bad, but he's just not an impactful. He's a good run defender, but he's literally like the worst pass rusher in the league.
All right, so I got second pick, and it made it pretty interesting though with Abdul Carter going first because Cam Moore's there. Obviously, they go quarterback. They're probably just gonna ruin another one. So I think last week we went Genty. I think this week you go Travis Hunter. Just give you talent on side, on like just give you some talent, and the receiver can still produce even if the team around him is not great. So I think that's the pick there, just talent.
I was thinking Greg Newsom might be in trade talks.
Well, oh really?
Yeah,
I
He's
know.
low key not as good as he is anymore. Anyway, third, Giants. The Giants have obviously really upped themselves recently. Like they've improved the team a lot. That defense is actually starting to look pretty formidable. And I think they just go get their guy of the future here. I think they go and get the what I think should be the number one. Obviously the only quarterback that really grades out in my eyes as like someone who can project as a you know multi-year starter, possible Pro Bowl level talent, and that is of course Mr. Cam Ward.
oh, I thought you were
So
talking about
Cam
Kyle
Ward,
McCord.
yeah, obviously Kyle McCord is
I
the
think
third
Shador.
overall pick.
I think you just explain Shador, but it's all good.
Well, that's your prerogative, but I don't know. I mean, Cam Ward has, and I think the Giants have they've been able to. Daniel Jones, he was more mobile than people gave him credit for. And I mean, Vanilla Vic, he ran around. So the offense obviously is used to stuff like that, and it's kind of built that they can implement a lot of the same systems. And I think Cam Ward obviously being a transfer and buying into Miami's system so quick shows that he obviously has that ability to learn really quickly. So I just like him as a prospect, and I think the Giants are starting to turn themselves into something that could be formidable, and they need a QB to do that. So.
Patriots.
I see. Maybe you're a Giants fan, really don't want to go QB in a weaker QB class, but I I just think that they're going to. No,
Yeah,
like they
like I
need to
mean,
try to save their jobs.
exactly. Like it's boom or bust for Brian Dable, which kind of sucks because considering he literally won Coach of the Year like pretty recently, like 3 years ago. But I guess that just shows you the landscape of the NFL. Is your job is never confirmed. Got to continue to produce.
So we got the Patriots who've been spending a lot of money. Brought in Milton Williams, Carlton Davis, Harold Landry. Even brought in a couple like little depth pieces: Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses, Mac Hollins. But I feel like you still have not solidified pass catcher or even O line here. So I feel like their still two biggest needs is probably still here. But I think we're gonna go Will. Actually, we'll go Will Campbell here. protect your future quarterback. Maybe it's not the deepest receiver class. There's a lot of top end talent, but not that deep of a receiver class. But you could still have a fairly high second round pick. Maybe snag um a hopefully fall that like Becca Matthew going to fall in the late 20s. Trade back up into the first for them if they really want to get aggressive, or just wait for a second round
You
receiver.
could trade Harris too. You could trade Harris. Okay, so for the Jaguars, I think it's Mason Graham here. Just like good player. Man, it's just improving the trenches, which is always a good idea.
Yep, of course. Going on the Raiders. I actually, especially with these past moves and just what we're looking at here, I think the Raiders have completely turned around with what they're doing here. I think they project really well for the future now, and I'm really excited for this team. Obviously, going out and trading for Geno fills a huge slot that a lot of people assumed that they were going to fill in this draft, but now that they have that freedom to go ahead and, I guess, branch out, they kind of have the opportunity to do all kinds of different things here. I mean, I could see them going. I could see them going a lot of different directions. Honestly, like they, of course, can bolster that defense that they've already been building up. They've kind of solidified that D line. Shoring up Max Crosby, getting Malcolm Kuntz back. Hopefully, Christian Wilkins will be healthy this season. I like that. The secondary obviously wasn't great, but signing Jeremy Chin was a big thing. I think the main things that they have to focus on now is protecting Geno, obviously, but then again, also getting some pass catchers for him. So we kind of look at the spread here, and honestly, when I'm thinking, just in terms of prospects that we have left on the board here, out of their needs, who I like the most and who I like fitting in with the I guess scheme and the landscape of the Raiders is Will Campbell here. So we're gonna go ahead, draft the guy right out of LSU.
Who's gonna tell him that Will Campbell went to the
Wait,
Patriots?
bro. Me when I literally am exhausted. Okay. So we're actually gonna go with the next best player at the position. Yeah. Just ignore. Can we cut that out? We're gonna go ahead and grab Ted McMillan here. Obviously a big position need for the Raiders, and Ted McMillan is, a prospect that I think projects very well in terms of NFL playability. Like I think he's a guy that really can go out there and make an impact day one, which the Raiders need obviously because their pass catchers have been not
very
the most,
bad.
yeah, not the most consistent outside of Brock Bowers. And I will say, Jacoby Myers is one
Nah,
of the most.
Kobe Myers, top worst player of all time.
I think he's one of the more underrated receivers in the league. But other than that, they really don't have anyone out there. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and grab Ted McMillan, and we're gonna ignore. We're gonna ignore that.
Jets, no. I picked up a QB. Goes by the name of Justin Fields.
Which I don't know. I honestly am not really a big fan of that signing. I just think it's
it's forced.
Yeah, it's not a needle mover. It's like obviously the Jets need someone that can come in that locker room, lead the team, and obviously that wasn't the conspiracy theorist, but I don't think it's Justin Fields either. So, but we'll see how it works out. Might be too early to judge.
Looking at the Jets' need, you could probably still bring in really defensive help here. Maybe keep bolstering up that O line. And the only one tackle's fallen so far. I think that's what I'm gonna do here. Take Omar Membu. Had the amazing combine. Probably had the best combine for an O lineman. Has a long enough reach to stay at tackle. I mean, I've seen people saying he's the tackle one of this class over Will Campbell. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the film. He had a great year at Missouri, though. It's just bolster up the O line, give Justin Fields a chance to thrive back there. I mean, it's only a 2-year contract. If worst case scenario, he was terrible, we can move on next year.
Yeah. For the Panthers, Panthers have made signings, I'm pretty sure. But I think helping that defense should be a big focus because defense is pretty bad. So, also taking the results from the combine, they take Shamar Stewart because he's definitely a riser because of that elite combine he just had, and he plays edge the right way. So
What do you mean by the right way?
it's just he like fundamentals. So he's got the fundamentals down.
He probably will drop a lot of weight in the NFL. I think he came in at 260 at the combine, and he played at 290 while at Texas A&M. So I mean, I think he will probably be able to make that transition into a full edge rusher, pass rushing specialist.
Yeah, he's just like got the tools to be elite.
Up now, we kind of have, a team I think is stuck in a limbo right now. The New Orleans Saints, obviously, and they kind of, went ahead and got their guys. They, re-signed Chase Young, they re-signed Jawan Johnson. Kept some continuity in the room. I will say I really like a lot of the pieces on the Saints. I think they, have an ability to get going. And honestly, just because, do you go up? Can I see the rest of the draft so far? I need to make sure I don't do it. Okay. So honestly, I think given the opportunity here, I think this is actually huge, especially for the Saints. Just in this kind of context, I think they do need to be looking towards the future and kind of starting to establish themselves, but or start to establish and project for the future. And I think honestly, given such an opportunity at 10, don't just pass up on someone who could realistically be going top 3. So I think the Saints go on here and draft, Mr. Shedeur.
Ooh.
Shedeur Sanders, obviously I definitely think that he's a first-round talent at the very least. And I think, especially in a market like this where QB obviously is the most vital position, and in such a nice situation where he can sit behind a proven starter in Derek Carr. And at least, obviously Derek Carr is not a high-end starter, but he's someone who can definitely teach Shedeur and get him developed for the Saints as they continue to build. And Saints have I think Saints have one of the more underrated O-lines in the league. When healthy, they look great. So, except for a few pieces, but I think honestly, given the opportunity here, it's a surefire thing to just go and lock down for the future.
Speaking of O line, you got the Bears who decided we don't want to draft O line in the draft. We want to either trade or sign. I mean, they could still take a tackle here, but I mean, I feel like with the top 2 tackles gone, and he fell to you here, just make Caleb Williams' life a lot easier. Drive Ashon Jeanty, be able to have that running game, complement that passing game. I mean, as they brought in Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson for the Rams and Cheese, and they also signed Drew Dalman. Maybe you still want to upgrade the tackle, but I mean, it's not a necessary. Goddamn, it's not necessary now for them to do that. So I mean, just go best player that is that position of need. And I mean, we know their new OC how much he loves his running backs. So, I mean, if he falls there, I feel like this is going to be very hard for them to say no.
Yeah. All right, so the 49ers, they're kind of falling apart a little bit. So I think here you build up the trenches, bringing old linemen in to really get really get your trenches solidified before you move on into the future. And I think, but it's between the two tackles, Kelvin Banks and Simmons from Ohio State, and he's been falling a lot. So I think they take Simmons from Ohio State just because he's athletic, good tackle, and just like get him a little higher on the board.
So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are in a really, really rough position right now. They're going to have to pay Micah Parsons a king's ransom. They already did pay Osa Odigizua like a very, very solid amount, which I think these are good picks. Obviously, I think these are good. They need to do this, but that being said, they need to fill in that other edge position. I think Demarcus Demarcus Lawrence might be his contract may be up. I'm not sure, but either way, he's getting up there in age. Oh, yep. Apparently, he signed to the Detroit Lions. So yeah, Demarcus Lawrence is gone, and even on that fact, he is getting a lot old. He's getting a lot older, and obviously, they're just going to need to fill that position, a very, very important position for them. So I think honestly, looking at it here, I actually like a lot of the Cowboys pieces, but I will say I do want to see more on that pass rush, and I think out of everyone available here, the person who I think has the most upside in terms of pass rush ability and has also shown major growth throughout his season, which is something like more than anything I want to see if a prospect has grown year on year and improved the issues that they've had in past. It just shows that not only one have they fixed some of those issues that they have, but two that they are someone who is, you know, moldable and someone who can learn in the NFL and adapt things that will make them better. So with that, I'll be going with James Pierce Jr. here out of Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good pairing with Michael Parsons.
Yeah, exactly.
That leaves the Dolphins here. Still have a lot of options. But what I'm looking towards is safety. You've lost both of your premier safeties 2 years now. You just lost Javon Holland, and you lost Brandon Jones last year.
I think they still have Micah Hyde, don't they? Or Jordan Poyer. Yeah, he had a crazy down year.
Yeah, he kind of washed too.
Bob Holly go with maybe top 5 combine performances. Nicky Muwari here at 13 might be really high for him, but after that combine, I just can't see him falling out of the top 25. I mean, he's a 6'3" safety that can run a 4.4. Is insane vertical, and he was also tested strength wise. He was also very good. This is just probably the best athlete in the draft. Get him at a position of need, develop him, and you probably have a top 5 safety in the league if you can develop him properly. And I mean, he doesn't even need that much developing. You're not talking about like a project safety. This is already a good football player.
Well, he's also big, so he got a lot of versatility.
Yep, and the Dolphins definitely need that. I mean, they've lost so much in the secondary recently. Obviously Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Xavier Howard. Like, it's just been. Well, I guess Xavier Howard's still on contract there, huh? But he's just not as good. They lost him to being washed.
Okay, so for the Colts, I just don't see how you don't pick Tyler Warren here because it's a position of need, and if you're really gonna see where Anthony Richardson goes, you might as well give him the tools to show what he can do.
Anthony Richardson, what are you talking about? They got the QB of the future.
Man, Daniel Jones, bro, is not touching the field. I promise.
There's also a two-way threat, QB and safety.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tyler Warren. Well, if Daniel Jones is the quarterback too, then help Daniel Jones.
All right, moving on. We've got
Daniel Jones will see Tyler Warren. It's not either overthrow him or just not throw it, run.
Facts. So we've got the Falcons here. Falcons are also in an interesting position right now. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins sitting on that massive contract. Obviously, they're going to
They
see a
go
lot of
Giants.
issues in that area. But once again, one of the most important positions uh, on the field. Well, honestly, I think there's two ways they can go, and I think considering who is still available in this draft, along with positions of need. Obviously, the Falcons defense, as much of a unit it looked up to be. They were kind of off-season champions last year, coming up with obviously having Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons and AJ Terrell. So people thought it was going to be all world, and that kind of hasn't really panned out as much
Plus, they
as
lost Johnson,
maybe would
Justin
have been
Simmons.
projected to. So we see things like that, but ultimately, I think they should just continue to shore that up. Uh, there is a world where they go O line here after losing two of their starting O linemen, but honestly, I think that the Falcons have always been good in that way and will be able to develop players. So I think they're just going to go ahead and get someone who's a proven guy over at the corner position, someone who I just think is really strong and should be one of those top players drafted. So we're going with Will Johnson here. One of my personal favorite player in the draft, and I just think he's got so much upside and has ability to be a CB1, and if not that, then a high end CB2 outside of AJ Terrell. So I think with this move, they can really move back into being that elite level secondary.
Going on to the Cardinals here. Sign um, Josh Sweat to a pretty big deal. I mean, honestly, I think it's a pretty great deal. I mean, got him less than 20 a year. I think he's always been good. I mean, he's just been getting overshadowed. Brought back Baron Browning. So maybe D line is not the biggest need here. I mean, you could still go someone in the interior, Walter Nolan. Um, but I think you probably want to keep building up your trenches. And why not do that with Kelvin Banks Jr.? Probably one of the better tackles of last year. And I mean, this is a deep D line class. You don't have to go D line in round one in order for you to still get a good player.
Yeah, I agree. Get the people that you need first and foremost. And him and Paris Johnson Jr., I think, would be a good pairing. Just have that young elite level tackle duo.
So for the Bengals, with Hendrickson being granted a request for trade,
They need to
whatever.
turn this pick into money and pay their players.
I've been going. What's it called? I've been going edge a lot, like Mike Green here, but I think that secondary is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. So I think here you go with the award-winning corner, Jaheed Barron. Just because I don't see that secondary being good, and just change it up a little bit.
Yep. I like it. Moving on to the Seahawks, they obviously have what they think is the QB of the future, and Sam Darnold. We're in a
Stop black.
we're in a weird situation here, honestly, where normally I would really want to jump on a O lineman, as their O line was abysmal last year, but honestly, there's not a lot of O linemen I would still want to take in the first round at this point. So I think they need to, you know, address some of the other holes in their roster. I think that comes first and foremost at that edge position that is so coveted in this draft. I think it's really strong, and they also they just need a lot of help on that defense. Honestly, I do like their secondary. I like Tariq. Well, I don't know if I say I like Tariq Woolen, but I acknowledge that Tariq Woolen is a good player. I like Devon
Tariq
with
Woolen's not. Tariq
I
Woolen's
like
not that
Devon
good.
with a spoon. Julian Love was a great. Has been very very underrated the last 2 years. Actually, low key, he totally got like all pro. So I don't know about underrated, but or not all pro, but Pro Bowl. Um, but either way,
Pro
yes,
don't mean that
they've
much
got some
anymore.
guys, but that D line is obviously a lot weaker. Um, and I'm going with, someone who freak athlete, proved at the draft, showed that he has a lot of that ability and could just go out and be a game wrecker, has been on a proven, a school that's produced proven linemen year in and year out. So I think Michael Williams is the pick here for the Seahawks.
Heading into this Buccaneers pick, brought back Chris Godwin, picked up an edge rusher. You know, might not like to see the same pick made over and over again, but this is probably the best remaining player, in my personal opinion at least, is um, BOA, BPA, and it's Jaheed Campbell from Alabama. Maybe could have gone. Um, Maybe if you wanted to see another linebacker go off the board here, he's slipped a lot. Both these drafts that we done, Jalon Walker, but Jaheed Campbell I just think is the better prospect here. He's massive, tested great, had a 4.5 40. He's running faster than some cornerbacks in this class. Just a great player. Proved had a breakout year at Alabama. If you just go watch that tape, he get 120 tackles. Led the team in sacks. It's just even if you maybe don't like him at linebacker for whatever reason, maybe moving the edge. He's still 6'3". Got recruited at Alabama, 5-star to go to be an edge. I think this is just you bring back your veteran linebacker. You bring in a youth to that position that will probably be a staple in that spot for like 10 years to come.
I will. You already know. Yes, sir. Denver Broncos. And like we made the pick last time, but it just makes sense. I think you take Luther Burn here, help out Bo Nix a little bit, and we like reinforce the defense a ton. That Drake Greenlaw sign was really good, and just makes sense. Help your future Hall of Fame quarterback out.
Yeah. Moving on to the Steelers. I mean, Steelers are such a weird team because it's like you look at that roster and it's almost, I mean, it's hard to find, major holes outside of quarterback. And obviously, I don't think that there's any quarterbacks really worth taking here all the way at 21 that you can't get in the
They
like
don't have a
second.
quarterback, do they?
Yeah. No, they are in hell there. But if I'm
And they're about to
them,
get big dog Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no, I get someone who is battle tested. The Steelers have a roster that is ready to win and ready to win right now. So I think they go and do whatever they need to win right now. And obviously, I don't think that's picking a rookie QB, but also I think that's taking someone who might not see play, so someone that you want to see have playtime immediately. And so that's why, honestly, I'm going here for the Steelers. I'm picking up Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina because I think that he is, honestly, if Genty in any other world, he's RB1, and I believe that he would have been uh, RB, RB1 in a lot of these past classes. I think, people forgot how good he was, bit of prospect fatigue. Like he was one of the best backs in the nation last year. So,
I mean,
we're
that's a
going
lot.
out seeing this now. And I really do think that he's, a great addition there. And I think he'll
Who's the
help
running
them
back?
win and win now.
Because they lost Najee. Who is the running back?
Yeah. Jalen Warren, which I'm a big Jalen Warren
Oh,
fan, but
yeah, he's all right.
yeah. But I don't know. He's more of a pass catching back, honestly.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think this next pick has me torn right now between either you're reuniting Colson Loveland with his head coach, or maybe going with best player available here, Jalon Walker. Maybe you convert him to edge, be that Joey Bosa replacement. But I think it's too good of an opportunity chance here. You be able to reunite Colson Loveland with this head coach. I mean, you already know that Colson Loveland's probably going to be a top 5 player in in the Chargers room. It's interesting where Evan Ingram goes, because wherever Evan Ingram goes, this could maybe cancel this out. And this would be Jalon Walker if Evan Ingram goes to the Chargers, or if he may goes to Denver.
All right, so for the Packers, obviously receiver is a big need, but I don't think there's a receiver. Actually, Ibuka's here. Never mind. There is a receiver you take a chance on here.
There might be a better one than Matthew Golden.
Actually, yeah, Matthew Golden's here too. What am I talking about? I mean, Walter Nolan's also here to help that D line out, but I think you take Matthew Golden. Yeah, corner is a big need too, but he's just like I don't really know much about his film, but yeah, I think you take Matthew Golden here
Okay.
because he likes throwing the deep ball, and he's definitely a deep ball threat. So I think he just fits with the Packers, and he'll help out Jordan Love.
It's about Isaiah Bond saying he's going to break
Yeah.
the record and then get
Fair
rammed
enough.
faster than 2 of his teammates.
Yeah. The Vikings here, I think they're just like the Steelers, where they've got a roster that is ready to win right now. And, honestly, I don't even think they have I don't think they necessarily have holes in their roster. They just have questions, which is, how is JJ McCarthy going to play? I think they've made that O-line ridiculous, bringing in Ryan Kelly and Will Freeze, and also, Christian Darrisaw, also someone who's been really, really solid for them. Even at corner, they went and picked up Isaiah Rodgers, who's going to be great in the slot. It's just, it's hard to, find issues with this roster right now. I think it's just more about can they put it together. But, of course, still having this pick, and we're not doing any trades here, I think, they go ahead. They actually get someone who maybe has been dropping recently, hasn't been as talked about. He's honestly pretty big for his position. He tested well at the combine. He's someone who was getting some first-round hype, and maybe it died down a bit, but I still think he's very deserving of it. I think they go ahead and pick Siobhan Revell out of East Carolina.
Okay.
Give them someone to play opposite of Byron Murphy, especially with Cam Bynum leaving, although I guess Cam Bynum's a safety. But, I think they still are going to have a really strong secondary.
We got the Texans here. We got Project Kill CJ Stroud.
R.I.P. my guy. Fair.
Obviously you had to go O-line here, and there's a lot of good players that would fit position needs. Maybe like almost Kenneth Grant, Derek Harmon, Walter Nolan is still here. All these D linemen, interior D linemen, that's still falling. Jalon Walker is still here. But you have to go tackle here, and just do Pierce a favor. I'm gonna go with the big school tackle. So he knows they've been battle tested. He might have gotten ran over by Mike Green, but it's all right. Josh Carley Jr. Be able to bring in a young tackle. And pray that you can find some other position so that CJ Stroud doesn't die.
Yeah, hopefully he just is not getting ran over too. Be very sad.
All right. Well, the Rams, I think they have a really good team. They could really do a lot of things here. They could have fun with the pick and just have the craziest D line of all time. But I think you help the secondary out here, or that. I think Jalon Walker's the pick here, just because he's
Jalon Walker at corner,
and he's just in the middle of the defense. He's gonna help, man.
He does help that D line too, because he's an amazing pass rusher.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's in the middle of the defense. Like a good linebacker's just it just makes everything better, easier for all positions. It's just good. It's like Pierce.
Yeah.
Ravens here with the
Moving
most
on, we got the
overhyped, overrated
Ravens.
player named DeAndre Hopkins.
Stevenson who left.
Yeah.
Fuller's gone.
I don't. I mean, the Ravens, like, it's once again one of those teams where they're just kind of. I don't even think it's personnel that is stopping them from getting over, but it's just kind of, maybe some scheme stuff and just some offhand events that have just, really screwed them up. But honestly, I think going here, they just go ahead, maybe based off some combine numbers and someone who I think is, I've actually watched a little bit of film on, honestly, just watching, someone else that I've liked a lot, but he's got, good size. He's just shown to be one of those. He's shown to be a player. He's shown to be, he's
Oh,
going to
Kobe
step up and
Bryant.
make
That's what you're
plays.
talking about, right?
No, I'm actually
Oh,
referring. I am referring to Darian Porter here from Iowa State. Big, rangy corner, who's gonna obviously. I think he has the opportunity to go and make an impact on that Ravens defense, especially with them losing Brandon Stevens, who I think Brandon Stevens is very overrated and not that good. So
yeah, that's facts.
I mean,
yeah,
what, Jamar Chase had like 500 yards on him this season alone.
I mean, it's Jamar Chase though, so to be fair, like it's a mid corner versus Jamar Chase.
Thought this was about to be a difficult pick because maybe saying one of these interior D linemen slide out. They realized Mike Green was still here.
Yeah,
Bolster that defense. Put someone on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Just let them go to work. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Maybe this draft pick should be used on a new doctor, team doctors. But bring in Mike Green. He's the next best thing.
all right, so Washington. Hmm. They could really they could have fun with this pick, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they invest in the offense because like sure help out Jane Daniels, but the defense will help out Jane Daniels. Man. Think the pick here, honestly, Walter Nolan would be a good pick here. Just really get the ball back to Jaden Daniels. Malachi Starks is still here, obviously, and they just lost Jeremy Chin, but I think they take Walter Nolan here. He's just a really talented player, and it's just getting the
Pair him
ball
up with
back to
Jonathan
Jaden Daniels
Allen.
is good. Exactly. Also the loss of Jonathan Allen. I think
No,
getting
they're
the ball back
pairing.
to
Well,
Jaden
actually,
Daniels
no, you're right. Not my fault.
is important, and Walter Nolan is a good player. So yeah.
I don't know why I said pairing up. I meant to say loss of Jonathan Allen. I don't know why I was tweaking.
Yeah,
moving on to the Bills. I think there's a few places they could go here. I think they need help all over, honestly. Josh Allen's not a one man team, but first and foremost, like, they really need, Amari Cooper's gone again. I think, definitely Keon Coleman will continue to develop, but and Khalil Shakir, also one of the more underrated players in the league. But I think, honestly, this is a situation you see a piece of a position of need, and you see a player who definitely probably is by far the best available. So it's just kind of a no-brainer to go and get Emeka Egbuka here. Yep, drafted falling to the
the
Bills, which
defense is gonna
honestly
stay trash.
crazy. I think it's a steal for them.
It's a good pick, but that defense is gonna stay terrible.
Yeah, well,
That's what free agency's for.
yeah, exactly.
So they got lucky. You
Sir,
right,
yes, sir. This is my
Scatterboo.
pick right here.
What are we doing, Scatterboo? Not going in the first round.
No, Mahomes, did probably get beat up in the Super Bowl pretty badly, but I feel like Derek Harmon's fallen so much here. Where if you can get him at 31, it will be such a steal. Pair him up with Chris Jones. Pair him up with I wouldn't really say pair up because George Karlaftis is trash. Not a very good player. But you could slide him over there. No,
This is
maybe
kind of crazy.
maybe the one play he doesn't get blocked or has the Texans tight end on him for some reason.
All right,
This is
well,
crazy that this kind of fell right into the Eagles' hands here.
Malachi Starks is here
Oh, that's actually
somehow.
perfect. Yeah, because
Yeah.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Gardner-Johnson, dude. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I would say replace the D-line, which is brought you so far, but Malachi Starks cannot fall out the first round.
Kenneth Grant's gonna fall the first round.
This is crazy, but
There's gonna be some good players that fall the first
C.J.
round.
Gardner-Johnson.
Trey
You take
Amos,
C.J.
Maxwell Harrington. Shit, this is a better corner class than I thought it was.
You take Malachi Starks. My fault, because you lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. If he's a highly ranked player and out of a big school, and this is the way the Eagles draft. So
Yeah, and also, yeah, he's from Georgia, so
Oh yeah. Hey, this is actually
Malachi Starks
it's actually a
most
good corner
definitely
class. I like this corner class. I really like Trey Amos a lot. I think he could be a first round player. Maxwell Harrison
I
just
like
had a
Trey Amos. But
great
after
combine.
that, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really.
Zarian Thomas dude though. Zarian Thomas dude trash.
Yeah, exactly. That guy's terrible, and he's supposed
Benjamin
to be like one of the
Morrison's
best.
also good.
Yeah,
bro,
Benjamin, I
Benjamin
think-
Morrison too, bro.
Benjamin Morrison should be way higher, honestly.
He
like
should.
on the big board. But to be fair,
Mike
I
Green
guess-
going 28 is also a little crazy. This I don't know. This mock
no,
draft's a
I
little
don't
crazy.
think I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, he had a good combine, but he led the nation sacks, but he still like has a little bit of size concerns, and he's
He's
still a
also
small
little
school.
too.
Yeah,
Little
small
school.
school.
He might have also beat up somebody. We won't talk about that though.
Well,
it's
oh yeah, the like Uber driver or something like that.
all right. They don't talk about it. If
Yeah,
he gets snacks, they don't talk about it.
it's just like sometimes you need your edges a little bit violent. It's just like James Pierce. Like
So
he
you
was-
gonna like make the pick, or
See,
you
maybe
just
this
gonna
is why you
score?
just don't pick. I mean, maybe just don't play after you have a stupid sophomore year. Because Will Johnson was gonna be a top 5 pick no matter what happened, unless the season he had happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Got hurt.
Yeah, it's just because he got hurt. It's literally
Jade
just-
Barry, probably gonna be the best slot corner in the league. I mean,
Well,
at least
he
the
was at
top 3
17,
slot
so
corner.
it's just like, how do you pass on him?
Javon Revel, Darian Porter, Trey Amos. I get
Yeah,
some pick
dang, this
Malachi
was a pretty
Starks.
deep class. I like Darian Porter because he's like 6'4".
I mean, it's just what the Eagles do. They just let the best player fall to them, pick him,
Yeah,
and then everyone's like,
Exactly.
"Damn,
Just, I
how'd the
guess-
Eagles get that guy?"
Somehow worked, I guess. In Eagles fashion.
All right, let's see.
No, we don't get a grade. They don't give us a grade.
Yeah, I was
We're
gonna
too
say, why
broke.
do it's like grading our draft? And then
Hey,
grade.
subscribe and donate to the channel if you
Yeah,
want to
so that we
grade.
could we can see our actual grade. Yeah. Well, we already know our draft A+, A+, A+.